What's up, y'all? Welcome back. 88 Fitness Live every Sunday, 12 Eastern. Thanks for tuning in. Today we're talking about did Urs make the right decision going to open bodybuilding. So this is a little bit different. We're talking about the sport of bodybuilding, news, the gossip. We haven't done that before in this channel, so we're giving it a shot. See what you guys think. Before we get into Urs and his big move to bodybuilding, update. Good morning. It's Sharif. Welcome back.
It's Sharif. Welcome back. All right, you guys, we have several updates for you guys, one of which you're going to be very, very, very excited about. But first and foremost, we want to say a big congratulations to James's client, Heni. She competed last night at the 2025 NPC Americans Hero and Battle Royale Championships, you guys. And let me tell you, this is a really cool show. The American Heroes part is for your military, your law enforcement, your paramedics, firefighters. So super cool. And I was just astonished to see so many incredible physiques at this show. And just to know that they are giving back to, you know, their local communities and serving either in the military or locally to support people. So truly an awesome show and cause there.
Yeah, I'm going to reiterate, that's a pretty special show. The NPC makes the attempt to give back to these heroes, and it's a fantastic attempt. I mean, the governor was there giving out the awards, y'all.
Challenge coins. They had the color guard there presenting the flag. So definitely a very special moment for sure.
It was in Laurel, Maryland, and the mayor, I'm sorry, not the governor, the mayor was there giving out the awards on stage, shaking hands, and almost everybody there is firefighter, a cop, or military, or ex-military. So it is a fantastic special show. Good morning, Aileen. Welcome back.
So yeah, our client Heni, because most people probably don't know this listening in, she's actually a helicopter medic. So she gets on there and goes out to really crazy calls. You know, definitely whoever she's supporting, it's their worst day, and she has to perform at her best. So I give it to her because that job inherently is high stress, long hours. And not only does she deal with that, but she went through like a 16, 20-week prep. So pretty challenging there for her.
If you connect the dots there, she's a paramedic on a helicopter, so she's putting bodies back together. They don't call the helicopter for a fender bender.
Right. So yeah, she did great. She competed in women's bodybuilding at the show. You know, she was the only one, guys. I know that's probably like a total shocker, right? And we're actually going to talk about that today and whether or not women's bodybuilding is a dying sport, because this is definitely like the second or third show now we've seen where it was either none or one. So we'll talk all about that today as part of our topic. And for those that joined late, we're definitely talking about, did Urs make the right decision to switch from classic physique to the open? So a little different, but we are going to tie it back to you guys and, growing your growth and your training patterns and what you can do to step out of your comfort zone. So don't worry, there's still a little something for everyone today. But without further ado, I want to give you our main update. The apparel store is live, you guys. So I know you guys have been waiting for this. So I just dropped a comment in the chat with the link. So definitely click the link, go on there, grab yourself some 88 apparel so you can wear it when you're lifting. Think of us. But yeah, we're very excited about that. And it's Sharif. Yes, we do offer online coaching. We can do written programs, nutrition for you guys, anything you need in that regard. So definitely either DM us or email us at info@88fitnesstraining.com and we'll get you going.
If you're going to DM us, do it on Instagram or Facebook. Obviously, you can't DM on YouTube, so it's not going to work on here.
But yeah, I definitely want to show you guys a couple of items from the apparel store. For the ladies, one of my favorite things is just this peach crop hoodie. I showed it to you guys before. This is the sample that we originally got in. So not only this, we have other cropped items, shirts, different color hoodies for the women. On the guy side, James has some things sitting here to show you. Yeah, look at this. We call this the muscle logo. So it's actually a zipper hoodie. Yeah. So you can get that, you guys.
It's got the old 88 logo in the front.
Yeah, I actually think we changed it out so it has the muscle logo on front and back now, since that was a sample. But we've got shirts with the muscle logo on it. We've got tanks with it on it. We've got the OG logo. We're calling it the original logo here, front and back.
The OG.
Mm-hmm. And as well as tank tops, I believe, with just the old logo too on it. So there's about 17 different items for you guys to pick from all different price ranges. So definitely something on there for anyone, everyone. And if there's something that you're like, hey, I really was hoping you would have this on there, I don't see it, be patient with us. It's going to be a living site. So we'll keep adding to it, especially as we get closer to the holidays.
Yep, and Aileen said hoodie very comfortable. All right, good feedback.
Yeah, good.
Photo 80s Jeff, welcome back, Jeff.
Hey.
My man said take my money.
That's right, we'll take it. No, it's cool. I know you guys have been asking for a long time for that apparel, so definitely get on there and check it out. Let us know what you think.
Yeah, it took us way too long to get this thing going, but
it is not a simple process for the drop shipment, you guys.
You think it would be. It's not that easy to set this up.
For sure. So yeah, today we're going to get into the topic of bodybuilding and, really kind of unpacked what we're seeing going on between the different divisions, men and women's. Yep. And we'll also get into some of the more psychological side and some of the pressures to fit or mold yourself into one division or another and kind of how that impacts your fitness journeys, even if you don't compete. So definitely stay tuned. And remember, guys, as always, if you have a question, even if it's completely unrelated to this topic, drop it in the chat there and we'll talk about it. That's probably my favorite part because I love the different directions the conversation goes in as we are live.
King Darius is back. Hey. What's up, King Darius? He says, hey, y'all, hope you've been well.
Yes, definitely.
Living and loving, baby. We're doing well. Thank you, King Darius.
Before we get into the actual topic, how did your bulk week 1 go?
Big T's back. Welcome back, Big T. Yeah. One more update. Here we go, baby. The bulk's going good. What the heck? I went to 2,500 calories and lost 4 pounds. But that's just vacation weight coming off. So we're bumping up to 2,700 and see how it goes. The pictures are in the community if you want to see the physique. Most of the weight went to my legs, so upper body's still pretty lean. We'll see what happens at 2,700. I might keep losing. I might stabilize. We'll just see. Hopefully I keep losing so I can start eating more food.
Yeah, for sure. And Aileen, we did bust out the tape measure and we measured James's quads and my quads. So
finally.
There's pictures. I'm sure he'll post them in the community later this week.
I sent Aileen.
Oh, did you already send them to him? Nice. So yeah, we got our baseline measurements going into this bulk. So I'll be curious to see kind of how it goes. I'm still kind of norming and storming myself. I was down 2 pounds from the vacation splurge.
You're norming and storming.
Well, I'm still trying to figure out I'm reversing out of my calories. So it's trial and error.
Norming and storming.
Yeah. Some weeks, I might not really be the weight I want to be. Some days overshot, it'll come back. So it's doing this right now, but it'll eventually stabilize. And that's common coming out of a show.
I think I've known you for 15 years now, and you never said Norman and Stormin.
Norman and Stormin.
Aileen's at 3,000 calories. All right, Aileen. That's where I'm hoping to get to before I have to cut back or anything else, but we'll see.
I when you're going into the bulk and it's winter times, you can start making all those stews. I know Native Grit love doing that. He's not on, I don't think yet, but so yeah, I see a lot of steak and potatoes coming up in our future. But good stuff. All right, you guys. So let's get into today's topic. Let's talk about the different bodybuilding divisions and kind of, I guess, some growth gaps that we're seeing. And I guess the question for you guys, what happens when your body no longer fits into your division?
Let's talk about Urs first.
Okay.
It's the hot topic in bodybuilding right now. It's the hot topic in the industry right now. I mean, this is big news. This is huge. I mean, big. I think we might even mention it last week. It's big because usually there is no news in bodybuilding except for people dying, right? So this is big, big news. Urs, the Miracle Bear, went from classic physique to open bodybuilding. You're talking about a guy who finished top 3 at the Olympia the last 3 years in classic physique. He stepped up. He's doing open bodybuilding. He did the Italian Pro last week and won.
Yeah, that's incredible. It's shocking, actually.
Yes. And the difference in his physique is, I mean, it's pretty stellar. We looked at him again this morning, and he is swolled up, man. I can't believe how much bigger he got in 1 year.
Yeah, Eileen says he's still growing, so why not go up a class?
Yeah, and he had, they say he had trouble making weight for the classic class anyway, which he was struggling to make weight. He had to cut down. He was extremely conditioned. I mean, all the guys are extremely conditioned in class physique, but he would come in super sharp. He's a little bit faded, but so much bigger in bodybuilding. And it's a good fit, I think.
I mean, a lot of people don't want to go up, right? They're like at the top of their game, crushing it, you know, like you said, top 3 finishes and all that. So when you go up a class, it's kind of, or a division, it's scary. It's scary because like you're going to be probably outsized for years, like running middle of the pack, bottom of the pack for a while. Where in this case, it's kind of like, where did he come from?
Yeah, and another example is Logan Franklin. He won his pro card in physique. He is now one of the top classic physique guys out there. I've been watching Logan for probably 10 years now, watching him get bigger and better and bigger and better. And he puts the work in and he does it and he keeps getting bigger and putting on size. So he outgrew physique, where he actually won his pro card with the board shorts on. But he outgrew that class pretty quickly.
For sure.
Obviously, now he's at the top of classic physique. So there's another example, guy growing and getting bigger and moving up. All right, here we go. King Darius, you said y'all measure y'all's quads. Do judges check size by to that depth, or just checked for yourselves? So no judges will get a measuring tape out, but they do look for symmetry. So the perfect symmetry is your legs should be your thighs should be the same size as your waist. That's perfect symmetry. That's what they're looking at, but they're not going to get a tape measure out and go, your waist is a little bit smaller than your thighs, right? They're just doing a visual to check you out. We do it to check ourselves, check growth, et cetera, check symmetry, check everything.
I'm going to say, I think mine's like way off. Like, Aileen's right. I need to work on legs for sure.
Yes, me too. My waist is way bigger than my legs, so I've got to bring the legs up and bring the waist down at the same time. So,
which will be hard to keep track of during bulking season.
Bulking, the waist is not going to come down. When we start dieting down, then the waist will come down, and hopefully the legs will keep going up.
So just for an example, my quads are about 21 inches and my waist is about 26. So definitely have some inches that I need to put on those legs for sure.
Mine's worse than that. Angel's on. Good morning, Angel. Welcome back.
Yeah, good morning. So have you actually experienced different like growth gaps in the divisions yourself as a competitor, or have you switched around or found a better fit?
That is a fantastic question. I didn't know that was going to come up. All right, so I started in bodybuilding. You know, I think we've talked about this before. You know, classic physique didn't exist when I started, so it was bodybuilding. I was a light heavyweight bodybuilder to start with, and then grew up into the heavyweight class. I did well. I did got a couple first places. I never got an overall win in bodybuilding, but I did get a first place, which qualified me for nationals. And then when I went to nationals, I looked around and said, holy smokes, I am nowhere near big enough to be a bodybuilder.
It's challenging. They've grown bigger and bigger and bigger into mass monsters, you guys.
Yes. It's also extremely hard to get a pro card in bodybuilding. It's a little bit easier in a lot of these other classes because they need to grow the classes because they're new. Bodybuilding, oh man, it's hard.
You gotta win an overall for sure.
It's hard to get that pro card in bodybuilding, and I realized that, and I retired from the sport. I wasn't even competing anymore, and then I met Camille.
And I was like, what? I mean, this
I didn't
classic
meet
physique
Camille.
thing is like going on. Like, I think you look great. Like, let's try it out.
I started dating Camille. Excuse me.
Yes.
I met her a long time before that. And yeah, she brought up the point, hey, classic physique is out. It was probably 1, maybe 2 years old at that point.
Not even, yeah.
So I said, you know what, this might work. I do have a much better fit in classic than I do in bodybuilding. I have better, more aesthetics. I'm a little bit smaller for a bodybuilder, but I'm very aesthetic and I got a little waist, et cetera, et cetera. So I fit well in the classic look. So I went ahead and threw my hat back in the ring and ended up with a pro card. So here we are.
Yeah, in fact, after this video is done, check out the thumbnail. We'll have a picture of James as a bodybuilder, like when he was competing in bodybuilding on the thumbnail, so you can see what he looked like back then.
Yeah, if you don't know how to tell the difference, look at the trunks, the posing trunks. Bodybuilding posing trunks are a lot smaller than classic trunks.
Yeah, classic's more of like your brief.
Yeah. Big T, now I need to measure my quads. Oh boy.
Yeah, come on. It's like quad measuring challenge, you guys.
Outstanding. Big T's got some big legs. I don't know if you got a measuring tape big enough, buddy.
We need the waist measurement too, though, right? Like we need the waist measurement and the quad measurements, you guys.
Right on, right on.
But yeah, I wanted to talk through kind of what happens when your body no longer fits the division that you're targeting, or, you know, maybe in your guys' case, the look that you're going for. A good example of this is in the, you know, women's bodybuilding was bikini and wellness divisions. A lot of the bikini athletes over time just like they weren't a good fit. As they kept training and maturing into the sport, they kept putting more and more size on their legs, their quads, their hamstrings, their glutes. And because of that, a lot of times they ended up bottom heavy. And not only that, sometimes it was just genetics. You might have had a bikini athlete competing in the division and she could just never get that upper body symmetry and was always leg dominant. Yep. So over time, the leagues ended up with the wellness class. And so there was a lot of women switching to wellness, and it took years to kind of really figure out what the look they were looking for. And so you had some of your, you know, top bikini athletes go into there, and they might have been middle of the pack all of a sudden. But eventually, I'm sure they found their footing.
Yeah.
So
Aileen says, James, right thigh was 25.5 and his is 24.
Nice.
That is correct. I got to get those legs up. 25-inch leg ain't going to do it in the pro level, baby.
Make sure you guys are flexing when you take these measurements too. Yeah. We were flexed when we took them. Yeah. So yeah, you know, I think a lot of classic guys run into a situation where just like you were saying, like it's harder and harder to make weight. You know, so you got to ask yourself, like, is it worth cutting down to meet that weight class, or should you consider going up a weight class? And it is hard. Like, I've definitely done women's bodybuilding for several years now, and there's been times where, like, James, I don't know if I'm going to meet this weight cap that I'm going for. Like, I'm really going to have to, you know, take a lot of weight off. And I think at times I've sacrificed some of my muscle size in order to hit the weight cap to stay out of women's heavyweight for bodybuilding.
Yeah, and I think that's what a lot of these top classic guys do is they lose a little bit of muscle, but they stay at the top of the sport, and they're the biggest. You know, they're some of the biggest, and they're getting rewarded. Like I said, Urs was top 3 at the Olympia. He's not going to be top 3 at a bodybuilder. I can tell you that right now. He might not even be top 10. He's just going to be outsized. Now, a couple years from now, if he keeps growing like he did, watch out. But this year, if he does the Olympia, he's not going to do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's just the way it goes, you know. Aileen said no more 212. Yeah, there's still 212, but that's for short guys. Urs isn't very short.
Yeah.
The 212ers are usually extremely short, like 5'1", maybe
5'1", 5'2",
5'3". They're very, very short. If 212 existed when Lee Priest was around, he would have crushed it. Right. But the 212 is open bodybuilding, but it is basically for short guys.
So yeah, I think it happens all the time where someone just kind of outgrows the look or the division that they're going for. And most people are very resistant to change. So they'll just keep doing the same thing. I mean, you guys might experience this too. So maybe you did the summer shred, you got your kind of beach look and you're kind of like, good enough. Like, or you could take it, up a level to the next, level. So you got options, but most people just kind of get stuck in this rut or stuck in this tunnel vision of kind of what they visualize for themselves. And it's hard to see themselves another way.
Yeah. And it's, I recommend getting a coach to look at you because again, it's hard to look in the mirror and see your actual self. Most people look in the mirror and see something worse than what's there, but there are a select few that look in the mirror and see something better that's not there. So I would highly recommend you get somebody trusted, somebody that knows the sport. It doesn't even have to be a coach. It could be a friend, as long as they know the sport and they have the eye and they got experience in it. Maybe they can help you out. Yeah, even our client yesterday, they give you judges feedback, and it was interesting. Like her feedback was, hey, you just need tighter conditioning. Like, no, you don't need more size, which is rare for them to actually say. And I asked the question, like, do you think she would be a better fit in women's physique? Should she drop down a little bit to be more competitive? And the answer was no. Like, I literally think there's enough size. The shape is perfect for women's bodybuilding. It's just conditioning, like come in tighter and keep going. So that is incredible feedback. And it's exactly what her coach told her too. Yeah. And that doesn't mean that we stop trying to build muscle and put on size. We just got to work on the cutting part for the show. So yeah, I think as a women's bodybuilder, she's going to do very well as she keeps continuing to grow into that division. But yeah, that would be a misstep for her to try to take off some of that size to go into women's physique. So yeah, and I see we have more people listening now. So if you missed the beginning part, scroll back through the comments if you can. We made the announcement that our apparel store is live. And don't forget, you guys can ask us any questions you have, even if it's unrelated to the topic. So let's get back into kind of what's going on in women's bodybuilding. I wanted to talk a little bit about that because we've been to at least 2 shows now, but we've been tracking multiple local shows here on the East Coast, and there is no women's bodybuilders, like maybe one. So it is crazy. And so for me, someone that really loves the sport of women's bodybuilding and respects it, like that is a little concerning on where where's the future of women's bodybuilding? So, yeah, I've been around forever. I mean, my first competition was 20 years ago. Literally, I was on the stage 20 years ago. There was no other classes for women other than women bodybuilding. And I've watched the sport decline over the years. The last good one was Linda Murray. She was feminine. She looked fantastic. She was muscular. Before that was Corey Everson, same thing. She was feminine. She looked fantastic. She was muscular. Before that was Rachel McLish. Bev Francois is the one that came in and kind of killed the sport. She did not look feminine. She did not look good, but she was very muscular. Yeah, I mean, Urs Kyle's huge, a lot of mass. Yeah, I think it's interesting. Like the physiques you're bringing up reminds me of what the current women's physique class looks like. In fact, maybe like what the women's figure class looks like today. Because even women's physique, from the time Dana Lynn Bailey did it to now, it's completely different. There's a lot more mass required at the pro level for that sport. Yes, and to me, the IFBB killed the sport because they just keep rewarding bigger and bigger and bigger. They killed women's physique. Because if you look at who beat, what's her name? You just said it. Urs Kyle? No, women's physique. Dana Lynn Bailey. If you look at the year she got beat by a girl that was much bigger and should have been in women's bodybuilding, but they gave it to her. And now the girls in women's physique are too big, too muscular, They don't look feminine, and they don't look like females.
Yeah, I've definitely noticed it. We recently had North American Championships here, and you look at the lineups of women's physique, and there are some really blocky physiques. Like, I really hope a lot of these women actually crossed over into women's bodybuilding, either as a light heavyweight or heavyweight, because you could just tell with the amount of mass they had, it made a whole lot more sense aesthetically for them to be in the bodybuilding class and not women's physique. Mm-hmm.
All right, we got some comments that you caught up here. King Darius says pretty active down here in Texas. All right, some from women bodybuilding in Texas. Mm-hmm. That's fantastic. Chris, I'm visualizing ahead through bulking this winter and excited to shred again to see my progress after bulking. It's a long process. That's very well said, sir. That is fantastic. That is the process. Bulk, cut it down, and then see your gains. Good stuff. All right, Darius, I've seen some Everson clips before. Yeah, she was great, man. Mm-hmm. Her brother, actually, Chris Everson, was a bodybuilder as well. Didn't do as well, but he was a bodybuilder too. All right, well, I think James answered it, but what do you think may be the reason for the decline in women's bodybuilding? That's it, brother. It's also not making money. Mm-hmm. So no sponsors want to bring the women's bodybuilder in because it's losing money. No sponsor wants to sponsor any women's bodybuilding because they're losing money. Most men don't like the look. Most women don't like the look. So it really is a small niche of fan base to begin with. And then, like I said, back when they looked good, it was a big sport. Back when they looked feminine, it was a good sport. It was big. It was huge. Corey Everson and Linda Murray were huge.
Yeah, you still have several that are actively still pushing the sport. You've got Andrea Shaw, Angela Yeo, Mona. So there's a lot of women bodybuilders still doing that. They do have sponsors, but there's a lot of inequities in the sport. I mean, you talk about like the cash prizes for the men's bodybuilding versus the women is not quite the same. I do give it to Wings of Strength. They really are active in pushing the sport. They have bigger prize money and all of that for the women to try to encourage the sport and not let it die off. So there's that.
I mean, you made a good point. Andrea Shaw has been dominating the sport forever now, and I bet you very few people know her name.
Yeah.
But I said Corey Everson, and we already got somebody that said, oh, I know Corey Everson.
And just from my perspective, Andrea Shaw's not quite at that point where it's like gone too far. I think she still has a lot of feminine attributes to her. I think when you actually look at her training videos in the gym, she's actually quite small. The photos make her look like ginormous, larger to life. But you really just got to see her day to day walking around. It's a different kind of look there.
I'm going to have to look her up because all I've seen is stage shots.
Yeah,
and
she's
she does
ginormous.
not look feminine at all in her stage shots. So
yeah, look her up outside of the stage shots.
King Darius, that's an extremely interesting perspective, especially coming from some bodybuilders, but it also makes sense that you've been doing it for a while. When you look at the IFBB back then versus now, night and day. You are correct.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, they keep getting bigger. Like I said, you know, even the men bodybuilders keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and the IFBB just keeps rewarding bigger. So they're going to keep getting bigger until they say, hey, we're going to pump the brakes and give it to the guys actually aesthetic and conditioned and looking good instead of this mass monster.
Well, I will say, so they've been adding more and more divisions, right? So at the women's division, you've got Fit Model now, brand new, totally hot division. You've got bikini, wellness, figure, women's physique, bodybuilding. And so we did notice with one of our posing clients that just did the PA muscle with me, she was actually scored down for being too muscular for Fit Model. Like, they were very clear they did not want that. And they were like, go up to bikini, but get out of Fit Model. Yes. So that's a good example where they did auto-correct themselves. I'm surprised.
That is. And that's a great example. But that's one show, one local event, one set of judges. I'm interested to see where this Fit Model category is going to go. And I want to see it on a national stage and then a pro stage.
Well, funny enough, on the national stage, I say the girls are a lot more muscular than they advertise the Fit Model division to be. And so that's where we were a little confused locally. We were like, wait a minute. if she were to go up to a national show, she would fit right in. If she were to go up against an IFBB fit model, she would fit right in. So what's the problem here locally? So that was very interesting.
Once again, imagine that. I told you the IFB just rewards bigger and bigger and bigger. They don't pump the brakes for whatever reason. They come up with these new divisions where you're supposed to have less muscle, but they keep giving the wins to the person with more muscle.
Yeah.
So
crazy. But yeah, I think, in women's bodybuilding, even men's bodybuilding, I think there's a lot of fear around getting too big sometimes. And I get it. Like, that is a concern that people have, but I will tell you it's extremely difficult to end up too big.
I don't know if any men are concerned with that.
Yeah, not bodybuilders, but it is interesting, right? Like there's just tons of pictures of The Rock online, right? Where he was like, hey, I'm too big, doing more of like a everyday, look now. And he looks, incredibly small compared to what you're used to seeing out of The Rock.
He got crushed for that online. And people say he looked old. They say he looks sick. They say he looks like he's got cancer. I mean, he lost a whole bunch of muscle. Looks like a skinny, tall guy.
Batista did that same thing too.
Yeah, Batista did too. But they did it for acting roles. So whether he gets big again or not, we'll see. But whatever he did to look like that is, to me, it's not a good look. He looks weak.
Right. Frail.
All right, Will, do you think there's a blanket solution possibly to fix women's bodybuilding? No, I don't. Nah, they're too far gone, and they created these other classes for the other physiques to fit in. So, and I mean, the overall feeling at the NPC and the IFBB is they don't want women's bodybuilding around anymore.
Yeah, the interesting part to me, though, Will, is I think there is time to save women's physique and women's figure.
Yes.
If they pump the brakes right now and say, hey, you're too big, move up to bodybuilding. And maybe in doing that, it would naturally fix women's bodybuilding. You'd have new people kind of coming into the sport. And as the legacy bodybuilders kind of age out and retire, you'd have a smaller, leaner, more aesthetic women's bodybuilder group up there.
I don't see it happening.
I don't either, unfortunately, which breaks my heart.
Like I said earlier, back in the day when women's bodybuilding was huge, it's today's figure girls. It's what the figure girls are built like today. Back then, that was women's bodybuilding.
Yeah, it's wild.
So once again, they just keep rewarding bigger and bigger and bigger. So unless they reverse course, and I don't think they're going to, they're too far gone.
I mean, you kind of talked about it. I think it's interesting. So the couple shows I've done, when I look at the figure lineup, these women are huge, and they're actually like women's physique.
They're very muscular.
Or in some cases, women's bodybuilding. I'm like, what are you doing in figure? So that's interesting. That just tells me that you can tell size is being rewarded, especially nationally, because they're trying to qualify for nationals locally and sticking themselves in figure. So it's interesting.
I mean, it's not just women's figure. If you look at men's physique, the Olympia stage men physique board shorts, those guys are monsters. I mean, monsters, man. There was a monster competing yesterday in physique, and he won his class. He shouldn't have won. He was way too freaking big. He should have been doing classic or even body. I looked at him. He turned around and looked at his lat spread. I said he could have won the bodybuilding today. And he's in physique and board shorts. So once again, he won being super big, super muscular in the category where you're not supposed to be super big or super muscular.
Would you consider dropping down to men's physique at the IFBB level?
I would consider it. Yes.
Yeah, I've been getting that question on figure. I'll have to see you guys. I'm going to have to strap on the heels and do some poses. I don't know. I think I'm a little too blocky and short torsoed for that to look right. But I'm willing to look at it, and hey, who knows? Maybe my next national show, I'll cross over and do figure, physique, and bodybuilding.
Hey, if I drop down to physique, I don't have to worry about my small legs anymore. All right, let's get caught up. Oh, that's yours.
So what's Camille's plan to put more size on the legs? It's a good question. So Really, my training plan hasn't changed from how it's been for the last year. I do have 2 leg days a week. They're kind of split out between hamstrings and quads. So yeah, I'm just training heavy as crap, trying to eat, sufficiently. I think the diet is a large part of that, right? You got to train for your goals and feed your goals. And so right now I really need to focus on getting out of a caloric deficit. So I'm building the right condition in order to build the legs, and I'm starting to prioritize it, right? So a lot of times in the past, like, it might be leg day and I'll still do a little cardio or do something very exerting. Same with the next day. It's like, okay, I'm not going to train because I'm sore, obviously, but hey, maybe I'll do cardio. So I'm going to try to prioritize the recovery a little more than I have been.
And let's back up. Over the past 4 years, she has pictures. Stage. The legs have gotten a whole
lot better, you guys.
A whole lot bigger. So just keep doing what you're doing. Just put in a little more time, perhaps.
Right.
Always do your best. We can do a little better, but I think all she needs is more time. King Darius, that's on Sean T. He's out there in quite a bit of muscle over the years since Insanity. Yeah.
Speaking of Sean T, he got so much flack for dancing up there during his routine, you guys. It started this whole thing like, should the Manions put out a note about no dancing on stage? And guys, it's Sean T. Of course he's going to be like doing those like mountain climbers and whatever. Like, for the people that knew him, thought it was hilarious. I get it. But yeah, that was funny. He got so much flack for that.
The people that didn't know who he was just thought he was some clown up there dancing on the stage, which you're not supposed to do, y'all. Don't dance on a bodybuilding stage. Even in your routine, don't dance on a body. You might get stopped by the head judge during your routine. I've seen it. This is not a dance competition. Stop dancing. I've seen it happen. So don't dance on a bodybuilding stage. Angel, I think they will make more divisions for men and less for women. Interesting. So NPC is a money-making machine. So if they can think of another way to make money, another class to invent to make more money, they will do so.
The dad bod.
Transformation. The angel wings. That hasn't hit NPC yet, but it probably will.
I would really like to see a transformation division in the NPC. I think it will pull a lot of people out of the everyday classes and then give them something to compete against each other themselves. So I think that could be a great addition for them.
To me, I don't think it has anything to do with the sport and shouldn't be on stage. It's great you transform your body. It's fantastic, but it's not bodybuilding.
That's where James and I kind of have like differing opinions of it.
Obviously. All right, Davino, I always give when I hear a woman who started out talk about not wanting to lift heavy because they don't want to get too big. If it was only that easy.
I know, right?
Well said. I wish it was that easy, even for me, right? Davino, my second favorite is I don't want to look like a man. Come on, being fit isn't looking like a man. Once again, well said. Looking your best should be their goal. Once again, well said. Yeah. So we're dancing around it, and there's a big elephant in the room, but these women cross the line when they start taking pharmaceuticals. That's when you get too big. That's when you get too blocky. That's when you look like a man.
Yeah.
If you don't do the pharmaceuticals, you don't have to worry about any of those things ever. Exactly. You can lift your whole entire life and you will still not look like a man unless you dabble into the pharmaceuticals. All right. Angel, off-season class. Yes. Go up there, chubby. I like it.
Off-season class. But yeah, James is right. I think a lot of social media stereotypes kind of impacts the classes too. There's a stigma with a lot of people for getting too big. Or at least there was for a while. I am happy that a lot of it has shifted back to this like fit culture, but even within the fit culture, if you look at the influencers, they more so have that lean Pilates looking build of a body per se. So a lot of women don't want to get, bulky looking per se or super shredded. They want those kind of that lean, slim kind of look to them, slightly fit.
Well, I opened with it. I said most women don't like the look of women bodybuilding, and that's where it's coming from. They look at this picture of Andrea Shaw and go, "Whoa, I don't want to look like that. I don't want to look. I'm not touching a weight."
But the fit model look they like, so that might be why they added that in there.
But I think that's where a lot of it comes from. Is that they'll look at a top bodybuilder, a female bodybuilder, and they go, "Oh my goodness, I am not touching a weight. I don't want to look like that. That's not a good look." And that's the majority of women out there, you know, thinking if they touch a weight, they're going to blow up like Andrea Shaw, which is very far, very far from the truth. All right, Davino, right? And King Darius, you know, what y'all are saying is music to my ears. Chris, I'm with Camille. Transformation Division will keep people out of their divisions where people have had a bodybuilder lifestyle for years.
Yeah, that sure would.
It is. And you get a lot of transformation people showing up and they jump into these classes where they shouldn't be. So,
I mean, it doesn't offend me. If you look at social media, there was a Canadian female bodybuilder just did a show. She got so much hate, you guys. And it literally broke my heart. Like, she literally is living the bodybuilding lifestyle, putting the work in. She's lost quite a bit of weight. And she just wanted to compete. She didn't even care how she did. It doesn't bother me. Because if she goes up against someone that is the right size, is the right condition, she's obviously not going to place higher than them. So that's fine for me. It doesn't bother me. But that would be great to have a division where, you know, she could be competitive within that transformation thing. But yeah, she's awesome. She's got a lot of heart. Her name is Chloe Hart, if you look her up on Instagram.
Listen, y'all, bodybuilding shows are already drawn out and long enough. The day never ends. We do not need another transformation class that you have to sit through while you're twiddling your thumbs, waiting for somebody, your client or whoever you're there to watch, to come up. Believe me, we were there all day yesterday. It started at 10. I think it ended at 6. Come on. We do not need another category up on that stage, drawing it out, making it an even longer day.
James is telling you how I feel.
Please, come on. Do not make another category we got to sit through. Oh, my goodness gracious. I remember before there was classic physique, it was bodybuilding and physique. And you'd fly through the bodybuilding, and then it's physique guys for literally 3 hours on stage. You're watching physique after physique after physique after physique, and you're just going, oh, 3 hours later. All right, can we get to the next category?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Where will we stop at? Well, James, is this what you meant last week when you said
yes,
people have turned to collecting trophies?
Yeah, like if they are oversized for their division, they're just showing up locally, winning. You need to put yourself out there. Go to nationals. Try going up a division and working towards additional growth. That's where, for me, the athletes really stand out. They're not afraid to take it up a notch and put themselves out of their comfort zone.
Well said. King Darius, biggest issue I personally, especially for someone who is in early, is the misunderstanding of how long it actually takes to put on muscle and maintaining those physiques. That is very well said as well, King Darius. I've had some clients who have not put in their time, and I said, listen, you can do this competition, but don't plan to place. You haven't put in enough time yet. You haven't put enough muscle on yet. Most of them still go through it and don't place very well. But they got the experience under the belt, and hopefully they continue with it and get more muscle and come back to it. But you definitely have to put in your time. That's one of the beauties of this sport. There's no cheating it.
Yeah, most of the females come to me and say, okay, I want to do a show, about 20-week prep. Do you think you can help me grow glutes? And I'm like, well, for starters, we're going into cutting phase. Not a good environment to grow glutes. And yeah, that takes like 2 years to do. And that's just the baseline. So it definitely, you got to put your time in there.
Yep. Davino, don't forget to give this stream a like. All right. You got where to go. These guys are taking time out to answer questions for years of experience. Thanks, Vino. Appreciate you, man. All right, Angel, keep lifting, keep loving, keep laughing. I'm going to see the live stream and see Urs get another win. All right.
Nice.
He's doing the German pro today, and he's from Germany. So
I'm excited to see how that's going to go.
I am excited to see how it goes as well. And Angel's got it on the live stream. All right, Angel. Chris, that's a good point. I can appreciate wanting the day shorter. My kids' karate test hours are very long. Man, it's a long day, Chris. Let me tell you, buddy. Oh, it's a long day. Davino, I agree with there being too many categories these days, especially on the same event. Who has that kind of time to spend there? Boom.
Well said.
King Darius, I remind myself every time I pick up some weight, and I remind my wife we're lifting for years down the line, not for 3 to 6 months transformation.
No.
Outstanding.
And that's a great comment, King Darius. A good segue into, kind of some, points about, are you chasing trends? A lot of people are chasing trends instead of training for real growth. So like we said, real growth takes time. You got to put the work in. It's a labor of love kind of thing. So whether, you're competing or not, I think bodybuilding just really teaches us that you got to show up for yourself, and you got to show up big, you guys, and know that it's going to take time for you to evolve.
A natural evolution of sport. I mean, if you're a young man and you want to start and you want to start right away, you're going to start in physique because you're not big enough yet. 2 or 3 years later, you got training under your belt, you got a lot bigger. You're going to go, oh man, I'm going to classic physique now because I'm that much bigger, I'm that much better. 2 to 3 years from that, you're going to step up and say, okay, I'm ready for bodybuilding now because I kept growing. I continued to grow and get better, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Right. But that's how it's supposed to work. And a lot of guys that haven't put in their time yet start in physique.
Yeah. I know a lot of people watching this live don't necessarily compete, but I will say you guys all do care about transformation. And real transformation is about, playing it safe, playing the long game, really like studying your sport and putting the effort in. And because that's where you get the real results.
King Darius said it, man. It's a lifestyle. Do it for years down the line, not 3 to 6 months. We're not talking 3 months from now. We're talking 3 years from now. And that's exactly how the sport works. You compete once, maybe twice a year, and then you work the complete year to work on your weak spots and come back the next year, and hopefully you fix those weak spots and you got better. Winter time, welcome back. Good morning, my favorite YouTube couple. Looking amazing as usual. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that.
So when you want real results, that means you gotta sometimes be uncomfortable. It means eating enough. Like I have a lot of clients where, I tell them like, hey, I think we should try to push you towards 2,000 calories. And they're like, but I'm a female. I don't know. I've been eating 1,300 for 7 years. Like, I just don't know if I can do that. I don't know if I can eat that. And I eventually step them up to that. And then they're like, whoa, like I'm so much more energy. I can like all my lifts are going up. And it's like, they just had to get past that mental block that they couldn't eat more and actually eat more to have that energy. And you know what? They didn't gain a lot of fat. Like nothing really changed other than they grew muscle.
So I come across this as well. Anybody that was overweight and now they're in good shape, you tell them to up their calories and they're looking at you like, dude, did you see my before pictures? No, I don't want to up my calories.
I can relate. So a lot of, one of my clients even said like, hey, I've been looking at your Instagram at the weekly comparisons. Like, are you bulking? And I was like, well, I'm reverse dieting. And I'm taking my sweet time, you guys, because I was that overweight person. And like, I used to be 212 pounds 10 years ago. Like, I don't want to go back there. So I'm very cautious. Like I could reverse probably a lot quicker, but I'm not going to. I'm going to methodically step it up very slow just because there is that fear factor. So if that's you, I totally understand.
And there's nothing wrong with that as long as you continue to up it. Nobody's saying get fat. And don't get fat. Don't get overweight. But you should be at a caloric surplus when you're bulking.
Yeah.
All right. King Darius, the transparency of bodybuilders like you guys, I really appreciate you. Seeing the side-by-sides at your physiques took a long time. So always remember that. I'm 26 years in, brother. 6 days a week, unless I go away on vacation or something for 26 years now.
Yeah.
So it's been a lifetime for me.
Yeah. For sure. It also means training hard enough, taking a hard look at yourself and saying, hey, does my training really match the growth that I'm looking for. I was recently just working with a new client that, you know, really wants that kind of snatched look and bigger glutes. And it's like, all right, well, what are we doing for the training? Does the training match the vision that you're trying to strive for? And if not, like, we need to step up the training to make sure that it aligns with that goal, not just repeating the same thing that we've been doing. So
yeah, there was an interesting shirt that a coach was wearing yesterday. It said consistency over intensity. Well, I can tell you, without either, you're not getting anywhere. So you can be consistent all day, but if you're not training hard enough, you're not going to make gains.
Hey, that might be like our new slogan. We need to put it like under our shirt. I like that.
But you need both, and you need intensity, and you need to be intense consistently, or you're not going to make those gains. I'm not sure where that saying came from. I'm not sure where that T-shirt came from, but it's only half correct.
Yeah, for sure.
You need both of them.
So yeah, I think the biggest barrier people have when it comes to true growth is just that fear factor. Like, what if I actually do get too big? Or what if I never get as big as I want to get? So I'm not going to even try.
The biggest fear factor is if you step up from classic to bodybuilding, you're going to be too small.
Yeah, and you're going to be crushed.
And you're going to get beat. And, you know, same thing. Physique, I'm not big enough to go up to classic physique. But let me tell you something, man. These guys are monsters. As long as they have legs, I don't know what was under the shorts. As long as they have legs, most of these guys in the physique, the top guys in physique, could cross over to classic and dominate. They are that big enough. And they got smaller waists, so they're even more aesthetic than the guys that are competing right now. The big question mark is if they have legs or not.
Right, for sure. So, yeah, you know, trust us. Size doesn't really sneak up on you like we've been talking about. Growth is definitely earned. We're definitely putting the work in, you guys. Like, I'm going to spend the next year really focused on bringing up those legs.
Me too.
Just to be a little more balanced of a physique. And I will definitely strap on the figure heels and try and see what that looks like. Not on stage, just, I want to see what it just looks like posing first. But yeah, my heart's definitely in women's bodybuilding. I was even joking with my client. I said, you know, we should just grab a group of girls, go out there and rock women's bodybuilding locally on a stage and just bring the whole competition to them. So that might happen.
Maybe I should get some board shorts and do men's physique.
Never know. Like, hey, I'm not unwilling to try, right? Like, you have to find the right division for your body and not be afraid to try something new. So definitely might be worth a look.
It might be. You know, I got some thinking to do now.
Yeah.
Especially, so I told Aileen, I already strained my hamstring. It's not anywhere near as bad as when I tore my hamstring. And there's pictures in the community. If you scroll way back to when I tore my hamstring, it's not that bad, but I already strained my hamstring. It's only my second leg workout since I decided, hey, I'm going to compete again, and I'm already hurt. So welcome to almost being 50 years old. Here we go, baby.
It's funny, you guys. I was a part of this hero challenge this week. It was basically 24 squats, 24 push-ups, 24 lunges, and a 400-meter run. If you wanted to do the advanced, you had to do it 6 times. Of course, I'm like Miss 88, so I'm like, yeah, I'm doing the advanced. I don't even run, you guys. So I'm like doing this. It's my last lap, and I'm like in the straightaway, like, I'm going to book it. And then in my mind, I'm like, didn't James tear his hamstring doing these sprints? So yeah, I did not go all out. I did run faster, but I definitely pumped the brakes. So I was like, I can't afford a torn hamstring right now.
It was on the same track. Matter of fact, it's probably the same sprint to the finish line when I tore my hamstring. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. And if I end up, you know, not being able to train legs, but I can continue to train upper body, I may have to go to physique. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
Part of the sport, right? Tom, how long have you both been taking creatine? Have you stayed on it or you cycled? Those are good questions.
Yeah.
I've been taking creatine since I was 19 years old, so almost 40 years now.
Yeah.
Not consistently. I have cycled off here and there. We just went on vacation.
Yeah.
I don't think we took creatine.
No, definitely
on
not.
vacation.
You definitely notice that like a weight spike, like if we go on vacation and reintroduce it in. So I will usually reintroduce it in like right away when I get back, and there's usually vacation weight anyway, so it's kind of lost in the mix. But yeah, that's the only time I cycle off of it too.
So yeah, to answer your question, pretty much almost consistent, but there have been breaks. You know, I got deployed and it was months without creatine before somebody sent me a care package with creatine in it, etc. Other than that, you know, we're home, consistent creatine, absolutely.
Yeah, I just actually upped my dose to 10
milligrams.
10 milligrams from 5. So yeah, I feel better. I really do. Like I can definitely feel the difference. I feel like I have more like endurance in the gym when I'm working out. So I'll usually do the 5 milligrams in the morning and then after lifting, kind of like post workout.
Fantastic. Yeah. I might have to go to 20.
There you go. I haven't confirmed it, but I've heard if you take 20 milligrams there, it like can erase a sleep debt. So if like you lost your sleep, I'm not like convinced, but hey, like maybe we should try that one day.
I'm not buying that. Listen, nothing's gonna replace your sleepless night except for sleep.
Yeah.
I know enough to know creatine's not going to fix 8 hours of missing sleep.
I'm going to try it next time. See how that goes.
Next time you got a rough night's sleep, just cram the creatine.
Cram that creatine and see what happens.
If it was that easy, you know, everybody with insomnia would be taking creatine and just floating through the day like nothing happened. But no, it ain't that easy.
Oh, man. All right, you guys. Well, I appreciate everyone tuning in today. I hope you enjoyed our topic. It was a little different because we are talking about the bodybuilding community today. Rough on the kidneys. It's not something I would do every day, Tom, for sure. But still within an okay range as long as you're not doing that all the time, for sure.
It could be. And, you know, I said before, if you have any GI issues with creatine, don't take so much because that is the one side effect that hits some people, you know, that tears their stomach up. They got to hit the toilet, you know, and they can't even do 5 grams.
Yeah.
Excuse me, milligrams.
Yeah, Aileen says barbecue and
chicken wing
time.
Oh, man. Oh, fantastic.
And thank you, King Darius. I hope you have a great week as well. So remember, guys, the apparel store is live. I'll toss the link up there again for you guys to take a look at. And yeah, drop us a comment. Do you think women's bodybuilding's dying or just evolving? So let us know what you think, and then let us know what you think about the new fit model division too, if you've seen that. And yeah, it's a great segue. Next week, I drop a women's bodybuilding posing tutorial. This is something that our clients have been asking me for, so I went ahead and filmed it for you. It's got both me and James in there. We go through all the mandatory poses and some awesome cues for you to take to know that you're in the right position. There's also some other videos showing you a bunch of auxiliary front poses, side, rear, so definitely check it out. And then that will actually conclude the bodybuilding series that we spent the last like 4 to 6 weeks on. So yeah, I'm excited. Do you want to tell them a little bit about the upcoming series after that?
Yeah, sure. After the bodybuilding series is over, I'm going to do an all dumbbell series. So if you're a home gym and all you have is dumbbells, which we've had a lot of comments saying, all I have is dumbbells, can you make all dumbbell workout? It's coming.
Yeah. And then for kicking off growth season after that, we're going to go into all things hypertrophy. So we'll cover things like how to bulk properly, how to build muscle properly, most efficiently. So yeah, I think we've got a great lineup coming for you guys this fall. Yeah.
If she told me that, I don't remember. It sounds good though.
All right, you guys. Well, thank you for tuning in. Appreciate each and every one of you. For more content like this, make sure you definitely subscribe and hit that notification bell for all of our videos. All right, till next time. Bye, everyone.